Now that you are also learning that this is an illusion, many of you are beginning to come unstuck in space and time. You're finding that time and space are becoming slipperier. You are eliminating some aspects of the so-called process experience and jumping ahead. Full-blown creating things, in a sense, faster than you used to use that euphemism. You're allowing things to accelerate. You're allowing things to just appear. Oh, where did that come from? I don't know how that happened. It just did. You're allowing miracles to become more the natural order of the day, which they are.
So to use your initial example of the evening, can I simply say I really have no interest in building a house, but I quite like the idea of there being a house that I have a key to in my pocket and simply walk out from here and walk into a house somewhere?
Yes, you could. And what you have to then face is the idea that as the synchronicity in your life unfolds, it will then show you what you really believe. Accept it as a way of allowing yourself to change to the point where you don't necessarily need that process anymore, even if a process is what shows up first. If that is your true preferable energy, your true preferred state, what you have described, then if there is still any belief within you that would attract a process, it's going to attract an experience of process to actually give you the ability to not need the process anymore. So accept the process if it comes as part of the creation of the state you prefer instead of an interruption in it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then be joyfully surprised when things do just appear. Because that can begin to happen more and more. So all we are really saying, bottom line is, you can allow yourself to be in a state where, if you really don't need to experience the idea, if you really don't need to choose to experience the idea called process, then things will just appear without it. But if process appears, there's a reason you're creating it. Enjoy it. Because it's there for a reason, your reason. Don't make a differentiation between those things. They are their own unique experiences. And don't continue to believe that you have to have one to lead to the other. Don't believe that you can do without one if it shows up. Because it's going to teach you something that you need in order to achieve the other level of frequency.
What steps can we take to decreasingly need to have process appear before we get the outcome?
The examination of your belief systems and bringing them into conscious identification. Because it is only your belief systems that create the idea of the need to experience certain kinds of processes. So when you create the idea of what we have called threshold of believability experience, you can eliminate and narrow down and accelerate the idea of process experience. For example, if you have within you the idea of some particular reality that you prefer to experience, you can ask yourself the question, well, do I believe that in 10 years, absolutely no problem, I can truly know for a fact I will be experiencing that reality? Yes. You can say yes without any hesitation, not even a microsecond of hesitation. Yes. 10 years, more than enough time. 5 years, yes, more than enough time to experience that. 3 years, yes, more than enough time. 2 years, maybe. The moment you hesitate to say yes, that's how long it will take with your present belief system, and that will represent the amount of processing that you may still experience, which is all right, because process is its own experience. However, if you find out what the belief system is, and say, what would I have to believe is true in order to experience this in 3 years instead of immediately, you find out what that belief is, deal with it, integrate it, let it go, take the test again. Is 5 years more than enough time to experience this reality? Yes, absolutely, no problem. Easy to see, easy to feel it. I can see it, I can live it, I can taste it. 3 years, yes. Now with my new belief system, no problem at all. 2 years, not a problem. Immediately, yes. 1 year, yes, not a problem. 6 months, Again, where you hesitate, examine what you would have to believe is true in order for it to take that much time. As soon as you take this over and over again and render it down as quickly as you can and eliminate all the beliefs you can find, whatever amount of time is left, that's the amount of time it needs to take. That's the amount of experience you need to have, you want to have, in order to actually accomplish certain kinds of relationships in your reality with respect to the idea of being your preferred self, because many of you don't want to do that alone. You don't want to speed ahead of too many other people. You want to wait for certain people to get to a certain point so you can all climb the ladder together. So it may be a consensus idea that you don't necessarily vault ahead of everyone else. You may want things to take time. You may want to experience certain processes in order to grow as a person, so that by the time you do create the idea you represent as your ideal reality, you will have, through these ideas called processes, through these experiences, have actually gained an understanding and an appreciation for the experience you will create that is representative of your ideal reality. You have to trust the timing of this, but you can take that threshold of believability test to narrow down the timing if you wish.